Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Genuine Chit-Chat. This week is part 2 of my chat with Rhys and Josh. Now, if you haven't listened to part 1, obviously I'd recommend you go back and listen to it, but it's definitely not essential for this chat. If you're at all gaming savvy and you know basically anything about games, then you'll be completely fine in this podcast. Just to reiterate, part 1 we spoke about games in general, a bit more sort of nostalgia and things, then we got onto a few tangents like cryptocurrency and a few other things like Steam and game curation and stuff. But then this part we talk much more in depth about the gaming industry. We talk about the publisher and the creatives, sort of dynamic and the relationship they have, and why Star Wars Battlefront 2 was so... why it caused such a ripple in the gaming industry, as well as we talk about season passes, loot boxes, or loot crates, pre-orders and AAA games, and DLC, that sort of thing. We then get, towards the end, we get to a little bit more political grounds. We talk about James Gunn and political correctness regarding Guardians of the Galaxy. We then talk about political correctness in games. We then talk about Boob-Physics a little bit, as well as Bayonetta and women in games, and sort of how they're represented and our opinions of that. And then, yeah, that's pretty much kind of how we sort of get to a close. So if you're interested more in the political side of sort of video gaming and things, or you want to hear three guys talk about it that are, then this will be a great podcast to listen to. And just to reiterate, you don't need to listen to part 1 of this. It's more of just it was 1 2-hour long chat, and I've just split it in half, so it's just quite lucky that it managed to split in half at the right sort of time. Anyway, enough of me rambling. Just before the show gets started, there's a promo from the Watching My Stories podcast. I'll include the details in the description. And then I'll be back at the end just to talk about sort of what's coming up and wrap everything up. Don't forget to like us, follow us and all that sort of jazz on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and rate us on iTunes if you fancy it. Anyway guys, on to the show.
Hello everyone, it's Danny from Watching My Stories. I watch a lot of TV and movies. My husband does not. So listen as I share with him what I'm watching while he tries to pay attention, show interest, and understand my point of view. New episodes are released every Sunday, so check us out at watchingmystories.com or subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, I'll be watching my stories.
Welcome to Genuine Chit-Chat, where we have honest conversations with interesting people. And I'm your host, Mike Burton. It's small transactions to get these things, but it does go towards the company, and hopefully the company will then keep releasing content for you to then keep buying, and it does actually add stuff. And I think the line is obviously where we draw between obviously characters or stages, or depending on the game, of more actual content compared to more variations in detail, in a sense. I'm not saying about costumes and stuff, but like the Battlefront, here's a gun that's better than all the other guns. Okay, you've literally broken the game. Fuck you.
Battlefront was completely unacceptable, and every community backlash about it was completely justified. Cosmetic microtransactions, I don't inherently have a problem with if it's a free-to-play game. Because then you're saying, okay, I'm allowing you to play this game I'm releasing this game for free. People that enjoy that game will then purchase the cosmetics and the things for it to then say, okay, they'll say that I've invested in this game now. That's their version of paying for that game.
See, I think...
Then things like Warframe is an example of someone that's done that very well recently in a very good way of doing that business model.
I'll just say, I think League is the one that I like the most. Obviously, I haven't played League, but from what you guys have told me about it, where basically anything in the game you can get by playing the game enough and buying it. It's just that
only issue is that it's a hell of a grind to do that, and it does have the premium currency that you mentioned that you don't like.
But with that aspect of it, not the actual character thing, because once again I don't fully agree with the character, but one I could use is Halo, for example, right? Obviously a certain Halo armor and stuff that you get by getting all the skulls, doing this, doing that. What I think should happen is certain cosmetic things, you should go on it and it should have 2 options, and one is get 5,000 kills or whatever to get not something stupid ridiculous. In Halo, 5,000 kills wouldn't be that much, but like not something colossally unfathomably ridiculous, but like achieve this thing or pay a really small price of like, if it was like 10p, you know what I mean? Like, or 15p or even 50p, like it was really small amounts, but it had on the option, if you click to buy, it comes up with a thing saying, by the way, you can actually get this another way, just to clarify. Because there's sort of kids who just like, if they've got their parents' card details, they just buy.
Normally the way they do that is trying to influence people to spend money.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say against.
Because earning the in-game currency to do it is just grind and grind and grind and grind for it. Like it to the point where it disincentivizes.
Yeah, but I don't want in-game currency like that necessarily. What I would have is, either achievements where you like
that just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
it's always like in-game currencies and
actually, Microsoft they did it with certain things like Left 4 Dead. You can do that thing where you could buy the first aid kit thing for like I can't remember what it was, but if you unlock a certain achievement, it makes it free on the store with the avatars. Do you remember the avatars?
Yeah, and you get like a background. I had that.
Oh, you mean stuff
and the gnome
you mean
as well.
stuff for like your avatars to have in your profile.
Yeah. Like
okay, that's not something slightly different.
Yeah, but I still mean you can use the avatar in games, so you can. I'm saying in game still. I think if you have unlockables, but certain ones that are not to do with the game itself, that are purely cosmetic. I think if you have purely cosmetic unlockables, or maybe even in like certain games, you could pay to. Well, the thing is, I'm trying to figure out, like, with Smash, for example, would I have preferred it if I can basically go through Brawl, for example, Subspace Emissary? Would I say, okay, you do that and it takes how many hours and you want to do that? Or if you want to play Smash just versus mode, literally just, you can pay £1 and you just unlock everything. But that's paying for cheats. And is that, where's the line, is almost what I'm thinking, because I don't know.
I would say no. I think any game that you are actively playing full, like, market price for, if that is then saying, okay, here's the game, also, here's these bits that we've decided not to include in the game that you should buy.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying things that you can unlock.
So you're talking about things that you can earn in game,
not
having a quick way to earn it.
Yeah, not earn the money, because I don't like...
No, as in earn the content.
Yeah, exactly. So you can either unlock characters by playing it for X amount of hours or doing a certain amount of things, or you buy it. You can buy them outright.
I think it is a grey area. I think it's possible to do healthily, but at the same time, I do not trust, not developers, I don't trust publishers to allow developers to do it in a healthy way. I think they'll just say,
but League does it.
That's what I say. I don't like the way that League handles it entirely.
Right.
I'm not saying that League is epitome of all good. I
Oh
don't
God,
think it's good,
no.
But it's a slippery slope of saying, okay, well, the publisher can just be like, okay, well, make it. This is the requirement to unlock it in game, and then say, well, that's ridiculous. And it's like, yeah, so then they'll buy it.
I think that's what it has to be. It almost has to be a council of people who play video games and judge them on how... There has to be like an hourly rate or something, because it has to be some sort of thing of like, you can't have an unlockable, unless it's the last unlockable in the game, maybe, I don't know. You can't have a game like Smash, and it's like, okay, it's 10,000 hours of gameplay, or you buy it for £1. That's ridiculous.
Yes. That's
exploitation.
That's literally saying, you need to buy this.
With either your time and your life or your money. Like and I think the problem is it's a game by game basis, and it depends what the unlockable is. It depends what you actually have to do to get it. Because obviously, as you say, when there's something that's so ridiculous, it's like, well, obviously you're basically forcing people to buy it, especially if something people really want. Like if you made a character in Smash, like Captain Falcon, if you made him, you have to play Smash for 1,000 hours or pay £1. That would be exploitation because he's such a fan favourite.
Other thing is to do with things like loot boxes. Which is essentially, as I said about the whole Hawaii and Belgium thing, the same exploitation cycles as gambling addictions, and that's been proven. And essentially things like, for example, Overwatch, right? I would say Overwatch, one, you pay for it, like 40 plus £. So one, shouldn't have microtransactions in it anyway. Two, yes, you can earn the loot boxes fairly easily just by playing the game, especially when you start partying up with people for bonus experience. But the amount of things you get that are duplicates, because it's all randomised,
utter trash.
It becomes so trash. If I would find it less egregious if they literally got rid of the loot boxes and said, okay, here's this skin, these tier of skins are this much money, these tier of skins are this much money, these tier of skins are this much money. And then it's there, and it's like, you literally, instead of trying to like get a loot box and hope that you get what you want out, you say, I want this one. Yeah. I will pay this much money for this one and get the one I want.
Yeah.
A simple purchase an item, you get the item.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's the problem. I think Borderlands actually had a loot box thing as well, didn't they? Because they have the keys. And you can actually pay for the keys, and that unlocks a chest, which is not...
That was actually sort of a loot box in a way.
It was.
Yeah.
In a way, but you don't pay for the keys. They release what's called shift codes through their social media, which you just type into the game and you get a key.
Yeah, but I think you can also pay for those keys.
I've never seen any way.
surprise me,
I've never seen any way that you pay for those keys.
I'm pretty certain it was one of those things where it's like you know, you can go to shops and you buy like £10 credit for Farmville, £10. There's ones that's like X amount of keys for Borderlands.
I don't remember ever seeing that. I may be wrong, but I've never seen that. In terms of if we're talking about things like that, DLC, Borderlands I think is one of the examples of DLC done well, because Borderlands has, as a game, they're all like Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel I'd say as well.
Yeah,
they're all complete games. On release. Yeah. And then they add in DLC that, for some of them, a couple of them, are almost entire games in their own right. In a way. Not quite as big, but they're are huge DLCs. And that is, like, what I want. If I'm putting in money, I'm paying like £10, £12 or something for this DLC, I'm getting something that is worth that money. Like, I'm paying, let's, for example, back in the day, probably Borderlands maybe 40 quid for us. Maybe a little bit less. And the DLC was £12 worth of like Microsoft points or something.
You're expecting to be like, in theory, like a quarter of the game.
Yeah,
exactly.
Skyrim's a good example. And was it Witcher you said previously?
The Witcher is also amazing for a DLC.
I will say I've been looking online, and basically you can't buy Borderlands keys. I don't believe from what I can see. But what it is that you can buy a Game of the Year edition, which comes with keys. So I think I was getting confused. So I believe.
Yeah. And then their social medias all release like shift codes, which you type into.
They almost like daily, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like you get so many, and there's constantly ongoing. So it's they're just constantly providing you with content, like almost like a trope that's being passed around at the moment, almost like a live service in which they're providing you the means to access additional content to keep the game just a little bit fresh. Because the guns in that game are basically completely randomized.
Yeah, I mean, the randomization of that is good. And I like the social media aspect of it. I do like it where you share stuff. It's a clever marketing thing. It's people doing what they want to do, saying they have fun.
And they're good games. They're good quality games.
They are.
Like the art style, the comedy, the gameplay, they are really good, solid games. I will easily, especially when the third one, because that's going to be in the works at the moment, I think. Borderlands 3, when that eventually comes out, I'm lapping that straight up.
Yep.
Rhys, with me and Josh been talking quite a lot of this loot box and the shift key. What's your opinion on some of what we've been saying? It's like
it's just shit, isn't it?
What about season passes and things like that? Like Game of the Year editions and season passes. What do you not? And what?
Where do I draw the line?
Yeah,
season passes can fuck off. Well, season passes can fuck off, but unless they have... it's such a grey area, though. Because I would say season passes can stay if the developers bring out, before they release the season pass, they bring out a schedule that will be fulfilled, and when they're describing what the DLC is and how much content you can expect, that is actually true.
Or, for example, if they release all the DLC and then say, okay, here's the season pass, we can... Actually, no, that's probably slightly also bad, because it's like, oh, you bought all the DLC... Oh, well, tough luck, we're now releasing a season pass that's like £10 discounted.
Yeah,
that's a bit also...
If you're going to do it, do it at the beginning.
Do it at the beginning, yeah.
The absolute worst, which makes me want to kill myself, is pre-ordering. I just...
Oh, yeah.
You guys got annoyed at me when I pre-ordered Battlefront 2.
It doesn't make sense. It's like, but I want to get it on day one. It's like, go out and buy on day one then. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? You're spending 40 quid. It could be absolute shit. And guess what? If it's a AAA game, it's probably absolute shit right now. It's probably
on Amazon, for example, I'd actually pay that until like a few days before it comes out. It is granted, it is basically already saying they're going to make this amount of profit, but it's basically like, I don't have to worry about it ever being out of stock. I just, on Amazon, I click a thing and I don't pay for it and then it comes out in 6 months. I pay for it like a week before it releases.
It doesn't matter. Basically, what it tells the developers and the amount of money they make on pre-orders is obscene, some of them. What it tells them is, it doesn't actually matter about the quality of the game because they've already bought it. We can literally take a shit on a disc, digitize it, and then show everyone some amazing game that's not this one. Everyone will fucking buy it because everyone's jacking off how good it looks because they're able to hype everything now. And then they give you an unfinished piece of shit and you've already paid for it.
How's that different from buying it on day one?
Because on day one you can actually you have resources to look at reviews, you
like
get
critics
all
and
the
people,
reviews and the
people
critics
see
get embargoes.
The review embargoes are over and all that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, there's like a week or two before it comes out.
You can even wait like a week or 5 days before it comes out or something, and just look online. If it looks great, then buy it. Like if you follow a reviewer and you agree with them on most things, and they show you the game, it's like a fairly long video. They talk in depth about it. They say, and you look at it and you're like, I like that game. I can just tell on the way they're talking about it. I'm gonna like it. Pre-order it. Go for it. But only if it's actually amazing. Like if the game's good and you know that before playing it, then pre-order it because it rewards the thing. It's going to reward the developer. But
the one thing I want to say about this that is a key point to make as well, where pre-ordering, there's literally zero reason ever to pre-order is when it's on PC and you're downloading the game. There's not a physical copy. They can't run out. You just buy it and then download it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like on Steam, when you go buy a game, you buy it, and literally the confirmation screen of you buying it says install. That's it. So like, what time have you saved? Nothing. So, and they know that, and it's a similar thing for console. You do have to go and buy it, obviously. But it's the same kind of thing. There is actually no reason to buy pre-order at all, and they know that. So what they do, add in pre-order bonuses, and most of them are absolute trash, like shallow, awful shit that like may seem like a gimmick or may seem cool, and then you get it and it's just like it's a gimmick and it's just trash.
The two things I want to say about the pre-order bonus stuff, I was going to come on to this, so thanks for bringing it up. There's one recently that's atrocious. I think it's Black Ops 4.
I saw Jim Inquisition.
It's like a £60 season pass or something. The game's like £45 already. It's a £60 season pass for a load of like DLC maps and content and everything. The game does Call of Duty Black Ops 4. There's no campaign anymore. It's just all online. And they're instead basically putting in a battle royale mode.
Oh no, they're not. Are they?
Yeah.
What?
Oh my god!
What is it like?
I saw like
we
the
mean like
title
player unknown
like
video, player unknown
PUBG. Yeah.
Oh god!
Because that's like the in
gosh.
thing at the moment. It's like, well, we can capitalise on that and monetize it. There'll probably be loot boxes. There'll probably be pay to win stuff. Because modern, whichever one, what was it? The most recent one. The World War One. World
War Two. It's called
World War
Two.
Two.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the remake
had
of
essentially loot boxes, which dropped from the sky. It's a care package, and you opened it up, got these like card loot box things in front of other players. So other people are saying, "Oh, look, that guy got. I need to get one of those."
Oh my god!
Did you not know about that?
Oh. What the fuck?
The other
That's like they're becoming a character. These companies are becoming caricatures of themselves. They're just doubling down.
Yeah.
All this horrible bad press, and they're like, you know what we should do? We should take out the campaign of Call of Duty and replace it with Battle Royale. It's like, who is making these decisions?
The reason
I want to be in the fly on the wall in that meeting and all sat around the table like a bunch of like fucking 60-year-old men who've never played a video game before and fucking suits like, oh, this is very good on the charts. Look how much money they're making. Let's do the same thing. Ooh. Oh
yeah. I think the reason why Activision Blizzard, which is people that make Activision publish Call of Duty, the reason they've managed to get away with that pretty much scot-free is because while they've been doing that was when the whole fiasco of Battlefront 2 was going on. So they basically just flew under the radar scot-free, for the most part. The other pre-order bonus thing, which is egregious as fuck, was Deus Ex Machina, Mankind Divided.
right?
Where they started off pre-order bonuses, and they had tiers of pre-order bonuses to encourage people that pre-ordered to get other people to pre-order.
Oh, so if you get your mates to a code.
So X number of people have pre-ordered the game. This is the level of the pre-order bonuses you get. If this many people pre-order the game, you get the next tier of pre-order bonuses.
I admit, I am actually impressed by how deep they can make this.
Wait, is that just to clarify? Is that basically a total of if this amount of people in the world, or if you personally get your friends to do it?
No, this number of people in the world.
Oh,
so it's like if however many people pre-order this game, you like let's say like 250,000, you end up getting up to tier 2. If 1 million people do, you get up to tier 4. If 5 million do, you get up to tier 5. And it's like the pre-order bonuses increase as you just trying to encourage people to encourage more people to pre-order, so the pre-order bonuses get bigger.
So gross.
And as you said, I feel like surely they can't get worse than this. And they never fail to surprise me with how much avarice and greed they can display.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Horrible.
Do you see Activision, I think probably about half a year ago now, but they got a patent on an idea
Oh, yes.
And it was a matchmaking system, right? You know about this?
Oh,
it's a matchmaking system where they didn't know what game it was going to be, and they theorised it would be Call of Duty, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, so Activision basically filed for a patent. It got published and released. Like, I don't know whether it was technically a leak or not.
It was found.
But it's a patent, so essentially it has to be released and say, this is ours, you can't use this.
Yeah.
And it was a matchmaking system where essentially it pitted high-level players that were good players.
Oh, can I guess? Can I guess? Is it high-level players against low-level players? But what happens is, obviously, the low-level players can't beat them because they haven't got enough stuff, so it enforces them or makes them want to buy the better weapons to fight against them all.
Yeah, that's exactly
Oh, God!
That's
literally exploiting children!
The high-level players have better equipment because they balance the game badly. And they're obviously better because they're high level.
And they have all these skins and everything with the weapons. It's like, oh,
so you're just
they killed me with that gun. I want that gun, so I need to buy it.
Little Jimmy just spent fucking 55 fucking pounds on the new Call of Duty or something. Sat there, 11 years old. He's playing his game. Some fucking pussy eater fucking 10,000 stomps his face in fucking 5 million times in one match. And he's got like all this crazy like neon, just crazy cosmetic items and crazy amazing guns. Huh?
Blue Tiger.
And he's thinking, I want that, that's why he's beating me, Because everyone these days is terrible, everyone's a terrible fucking loser these days, and people online, people go fucking nuts online. Basically, people have no idea how to conduct themselves. And because of that, people never improve. People stay in trash tier, like in League, people stay like trash tier, because they're so angry, and they can't admit their own faults in any way, or never ever learn, and they just blame everything else and always be shit. And people who like that, considering there's so many of them, will see that kind of shit, and they'll be like, they're beating me because they have all this amazing stuff. I'm going to buy that amazing stuff. It's like,
and then still be shit.
And the people who are stupid enough to do that are the people who are stupid enough to have the attitude that everyone else is the problem, not them. Oh. It's it's impressive. Like they understand their market clearly. These publishers, they understand their market.
It's like
they're dealing with mostly retards here.
Yeah, it's like, look at all these people that are so easily exploitable.
People just
let's exploit them.
Yeah, people who are like buying, pre-ordering. Like I think Call of Duty is like potentially like 50, 60 quid when it comes out now.
Yeah, something like
60 quid game with a 40 quid or 50 quid season pass and a bunch of other shit. Before it's even out. Like, that's a way of saying, oh, by the way, just fucking take my wallet, guys. Just take it. And they're like, okay, we'll fucking take your wallet for a ride.
Well, one of the things that, when this all started to happen, not only the microtransaction thing, I know it's been happening over time for quite a while now, but obviously the Battlefront 2 thing kind of shown it into light a lot more in the public eye. But one thing that blew me away was when you told me, Rhys, about the FIFA game and the Game of the Year edition, or Special Edition, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you remember what the difference? I can't remember exactly what it was.
The FIFA game had pay to win stuff in it as well.
No, it was a FIFA game, and the difference
£5
was
difference, I think. Or
I think it was a £10 difference.
£10,
it was like 40. It was 50 quid and then 60 quid.
So it's probably like $15.
And if I remember correctly, the only difference was a different ball.
No, I think it was a different ball and like an alternate outfit, like a away gear for like a couple of the things.
I'm pretty sure it's just the ball. To be honest with you, mate.
Really?
It's like,
pretty sure it's just the ball.
In context, no one else can see this, obviously. But, like, you're saying these things and they're just turning to me to look for confirmation of, like, this is fucking shit.
This is ridiculous, right?
Well, it's like when Battlefront 2, they released the special edition and I saw it was like 60 quid. And I was like, I wonder if you get anything cool with it. I was like, if you get like a statue or something, because there's quite a few games that come out where they have a price tag that's like 20, 30 quid more and you get like a cool statue. With Aliens Colonial Marines, which is the worst game I've bought in a very, very, very long time. But the statue I got with it is literally a guy in the suit from Alien 2 fighting an alien. It's badass. I got it on my side. I love it. It's not great made.
Funny thing.
I was going to say with Battlefront 2, what they released for it, extras, I looked at it, I was like, okay, 15 quid, that's probably quite a lot. No. There's literally like, there's star cards with like your character things, basically like loadouts and Halo and stuff. You literally get like 3 or 4 extra of those. There's like a map you can like 2 or 3 maps you can access someone else can't, and then like 2 or 3 skins. It was like 15 quid. And I remember looking at like, there's got to be more than this. And there's pre-order things of like, I think one of them was you get access to a character that gets unlocked for everyone like a few weeks before everyone else does. And I was like,
yeah, standard.
What? I was like, looking at this, like, what you're making people like. If my dad, for example, was still about, he would often buy me the special edition of stuff because he wants, if you want to buy your kid something, you think, I want to get them the best edition. But he would look at it, he wouldn't know what's good or not about it. So he would look at that, buy it for me. I'd be like, yeah, that's awesome. And I get it, and I go, oh, there's literally like 6 things in here. I'm only going to use one of them. There's like a thermal detonator you get that you can only unlock when you're level 10, but you get it from the get-go. And it's like, why is this 15 quid? 15 pounds for that.
The one thing, another thing is that I can't remember. I was gonna go off on something that was relevant, and now I'm kind of thinking about tangents. I remembered the thing about the new Call of Duty Black Ops thing that was really egregious.
Yeah.
Which was, they basically had £50 or whatever for the game, which is literally a multiplayer only experience now. So there's no, you can't play it offline because it's multiplayer only, right? And then day one, there's a season pass for another like 50, 60 quid. With the promise of new content, as well as the fact that there are certain things, I think it was the zombies mode or something, or something like certain levels or something, that you only get if you get the season pass.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get them if you can, because all the other DLC that comes out later is going to be able to be bought separately. If you buy them separately, you don't get this level. So you have to get the season pass.
I think Battlefront 2. I think Battlefront 2 had that with one of the games. I think there was one game. I think it might be Battlefront 1. I think it's Jakku, one of the games. I think it might be Battlefront 1 or something like that. It was one of them where I remember it was pre-order, and it was like you can only play that map if you pre-order. And eventually, after ages, they released it for like general, but they weren't ever. It wasn't necessarily the scene plan because they were like, "We better fucking pre-order, then, don't you?"
And the thing about, I know you just mentioned special editions and stuff. Special editions. Right, so now you have the base game, like £40, £50, something like that, you know. Then you have the silver edition, the gold edition, the ultimate edition. So that's like, oh yeah, the ultimate edition, right? Now the ultimate edition is essentially the base game for 110 quid. And then you have 2 more Supreme editions on top of that.
Who's that?
I can't remember. It might have been for, was it,
Modern Warfare 2 started
Assassin's Creed, the most recent Assassin's Creed has something similar to that.
Origins,
yeah. I mean, it has something like that. Or I'm pretty sure it was a Ubisoft.
The Assassin. I think
it was like gold, silver. It was like something silver, gold, ultimate. It's like, oh, ultimate, and then it's like supreme and mega, and it's like, but that's the ultimate. Surely ultimate is ultimate. It's not everything. No,
I
just like
think Assassin's Creed Origins. I think the most expensive version of it was like 600 quid or something.
There's collector's edition, there's legendary edition, there's Dawn of the Creed edition. So that's 3 editions already. Plus
and that's not even like, that's after silver, gold, ultimate.
Yeah, I mean
it's so bad.
I'm okay with 3. Okay, 3 editions, and this is my mind with
Really?
3. Right,
I'm okay with 1.
Let me explain. Let me explain exactly what the 3 editions are. Okay, standard game, 30 quid. Everything you want, you know, access to the DLC, that sort of shit. Okay,
can't be £30 anymore.
Fuck you. And that's exactly what I'm saying. It's idealistic. Then, like, £40 or £50, you get a soundtrack with it, you get an art book, and you get like a collectible thing because I like that sort of shit. I quite like that. And then one extra edition, which is up the 100 quid one, which once again you don't get anything more in game. You get like a figurine and some sort of really awesome limited edition. I've got the Fallout special New Vegas. There's like 9,000 of them that exist. I've got a special box, numbered. That was like 80 quid or 100 quid or something. It's got loads of collectible things, an art book. It's got like a DVD. It's like a making of shit. It's like, you want extra content that other people, if they don't want it, it's like you don't have to buy a 100 quid edition to get a map. That's taking away from the game. You should own add-ons like that. Should only be, for me, physical things you get.
Yeah, but that would be consumer friendly, and we can't have that.
Pre-order, get an exclusive mission. I literally just went on Assassin's Creed on my phone Origins. Pre-order, get an exclusive mission. So
the most egregious thing of the like edition stuff and everything sort of thing is when you literally have a game releases day one. There's already DLC that's available to download for that game on day one that it's released. It's like, okay,
I found it.
Why is that not in the game?
I found the editions. Okay, so you're pretty much right. Standard edition.
Yeah.
Deluxe edition.
Yeah.
Gold edition. Yeah. Gods edition, Dawn of the Creed edition, and Dawn of the Creed Collector's Case Legendary edition. There are 6 editions. This one, guess how much it was? Guess how much it was?
It's like $600.
$700 between both of you. £700.
£700.
Almost all of that is a big figurine.
Yeah.
And apparently it's really, really, really well made and stuff.
Oh, is it nice?
So I imagine that's
that's one of the ones where you put it on your.
It was only available in the US. Pretty sure.
No, I'm on the UK website. £699.
Who the fuck buys that?
Yeah.
Someone who likes games as much as you do is.
No, they don't. They won't be like Assassin's Creed that much.
No. Let me explain. about that sort of age, but really into, say, Assassin's Creed. He's just his favourite game. Like, he's like that, like the way I am with Star Wars, but I even wouldn't spend that much. But still, he's 40 to 50 years old. He didn't really want a family. He's got a lot of mates, but his main thing is gaming. He earns 2 to 3, maybe 4 grand a month. He pays some of that on rent. He has like 3 grand disposable income. If you have 3 grand a month, and there's a Dark Souls edition that came out, there's like 500 quid. There was like a statue
you're
of like
talking
a
about
proper...
Dark Souls and
but to
comparing it with
you...
Assassin's Creed.
Well, this Assassin's
I like Assassin's Creed
Caesar's
Origins,
Cross.
but you are comparing Dark Souls and Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, no, but
I don't think I can be in this room any longer if you're going to continue to do that.
I'm sorry. It's annoying. I've got a open image again. I was just looking at the Dawn of the Creed edition. Okay, you get an amulet, an art book, art cards. God, Jesus Christ! You get a figurine, a world map, a game soundtrack, a steelbook, a season pass, and the deluxe digital pack, which is like a Desert Cobra pack with an exclusive mission and shit. So you get... That's still not... 700 quid though, mate. I mean, that figurine thing's probably one of those ones you get in the Forbidden Planet that's worth like 250
It's going to
quid.
easily be most of the price.
Yeah.
One thing I know you mentioned, we actually briefly touched on it, where you said about like £30 for a like standard base game thing, right? The whole thing about games are expensive to make, man, dude, gotta build the money because they're expensive and they've got to be $60 of games.
That's
like
so Jim.
One, no, huh?
That's so Jim Quizzes.
Yeah, like AAA games. There was something, I can't remember what game it was, but the information essentially got released that the budget for the game was about $75 million to make a game, right? Guess how much of that
marketing
was going into the actual game, and how
which
much
game was this?
marketing? I can't remember what game.
Okay, sorry.
I remember roughly
marketing.
the numbers.
I think it was like 40, 50 million in marketing.
Like that,
Yeah.
It was
Like literally
absolutely
2/3 of the game, 2/3 of the money being invested in this game wasn't actually being injected into making the game. So you end up spending £50,000 on marketing, then spending I wish it was only £50,000, $50 million marketing the game that cost $25 million to make. And then because you only put $25 million into making the game, it's subpar, not good, and then it's like you're selling it for a ridiculous price to make up for the amount of money that you spent on marketing. It's like, huh?
It's insane.
Then you have games that are shining examples of what I think in terms of Jim Sterling has dubbed AA games. Which is essentially indie developers making a AAA style game. And I think you know what the game we're going to talk about.
middle of the shelf games.
Yeah. Have you heard of Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice?
No.
No. It got released. PS4, PC, decent game. I actually think a very good game. I've not played it, you've played it.
Yeah.
Rhys has played it. It was high production quality, good graphics, decent story.
Very good graphics.
Very good game.
Very good graphics.
Guess how much it was? Like, online to buy, disc copy, everything. It was made by Ninja Theory.
It's also very artsy.
Yes.
Like, very kind of like...
Afro Ninja, Afro Samurai. Oh, no.
No, artsy as in like, it's like really serious,
let the
deep,
right one
weird.
in. Let the right one in sort of artsy.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. That's great.
It's artsy, like the way a movie
Yeah.
would be artsy. It's kind of more like that.
Yeah, very,
More
very,
deep.
very much emphasis on certain things. That's how.
Yeah.
How much would it make to be made?
I'm not thinking about how much to be made. I'm just asking you how much do you think the shelf price was for that game?
Oh, 25 quid.
It was £24, $24.99 or something.
Swish.
And it is on par with the quality of some of the AAA games that come out recently that are, if not better than some of them. It had no extra content, nothing was left out, no DLC. It just came out, this is the game, 25 quid, there you go, done.
Yeah.
They made a respectable profit margin on it in terms of percentages, and that was it.
Now on to the next game.
And that was right. It's like, look, you can do this too, and not be greedy, avaricious
It's
bastards.
basically just a corporation. What happens is a small group of developers get together, make a company. They all love games, they're super passionate, they want to make the best game possible.
Yeah.
They do that, they keep doing it, they start getting quite good at it, and then some massive corporation who is literally a publisher, they don't have their fingers in making games necessarily.
So it was self-published.
Yeah, they go...
Ninja Theory with the developers.
Yeah.
Funny enough, the same people that made DMC.
What Rhys were you going? Where were you going with that, Rhys? Sorry.
Then a company will see that they're making games that are good. And they're making a name for themselves. People know that this company is now good and they should buy games from them. we buy these companies, so we will offer them absolutely obscene amounts of funding for their projects. And they go, well, I don't know, I've heard some weird things about this. And like, yeah, but imagine a grant of 100 million a year. And they're like, oh, okay then. And then they go, yes, and then EA will buy them. And then this is not talking about the company who made Cinema Sacrifice, but just in general.
You're talking about...
in general. They'll buy them, and then they're like, yeah, make these games, but do these marketing things. Like, just stick loot boxes in. Like, we didn't really want to. It's like, well, we own your company, so we can just liquidate
they own the intellectual property. That's the problem. Well, it's like what
they just squeeze the life out of them. You've seen the fucking EA graveyard.
Who's the
You've seen the EA graveyard.
What's the developer that made Dead Space?
Visceral
Games got shut down. They were basically cannibalised by EA. Shut down, shut out. They're gone, dead. Can't do anything anymore.
Right. Well, it's like what you were saying about...
Was it Visceral?
Visceral's gone.
Who made Amnesia?
That was that's very much an indie game.
Yeah, they did Soma as well.
I can't remember.
Well, what's going
to... Oh, they're frictional games.
Yeah, Visceral defunct October 2017.
Yeah. So...
Is now... was an American video game development studio owned by EA. Well, Electronic Arts, obviously, it is, but best known for Dead Space. Oh, good. Yeah. No more of those games. See there.
Were they bought? I want to know. Were they bought after number 2 by any chance?
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's the case.
But yeah, so for the Cinema Sacrifice thing, because you've not played the game, I've seen it. You've played it, Rhys. For a comparison, I would compare in terms of the very good graphics. It's not quite up there, but I would say the graphics are comparable with the new God of War game.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah. Which is also a fantastic way. The new God of War is an absolutely amazing game in pretty much every respect.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no bullshit, there's no trickery. It's just, this is a really good looking game. It's really well fleshed out. It's really well polished. And yes, it's a full-priced AAA game, but it's probably just about worth that price.
I'm just saying, I was just looking on...
from the experience that I got back.
I was just going to say, I'm just looking on online, I was just looking at Visceral. I can't even pronounce it. Visceral. Basically what it was is... Dead Space, it was a Redwood Shores, which was a part of EA essentially. So that's what it had already started as that. And then what happened is they became their own sort of part within the company. They became their own studio within the company and stuff. And then this is quoting Wikipedia now, which does have sources linked and stuff. But Visceral continued working on the next title, Dead Space 3, which they wanted to make in the same vein as the first title. But according to Wanat, there was a concern from EA about this approach, and among other large changes, had the team introduce cooperative gameplay into the game. And then there was more pressure to make the game faster, appeal to a broader audience, an approach that was odd in its roots in the series that was a horror genre. So, and it was like, basically, saying... and then now they're not working obviously on a fourth title for Dead Space. So they basically made 2 games the way they wanted to. They said, we're going to make it a bit more like the first game, because the second game we made it a bit less horror-y, a bit more shooter-y, and people like that, but we're going to bring it a little bit back. And EA were like, no, fuck you, you're going to do exactly what we tell you. And then they did, and then it was like, people were like, this game's good, but it's basically not quite as good as the other ones. Okay, can't make a fourth one. So, and that's what happens in the music industry with a lot of albums that come out and producers force people to do it. And that's what happens in the movie industry, because a small side thing, I was listening to a podcast with Scroobius Pip and Simon Pegg recently, and Simon Pegg started up his own film studio with Nick Frost and stuff. They're creating loads of shit, it's cool. And he said, well, Shaun of the Dead, if he can't make Shaun of the Dead 2 without conferring with Universal, because they own Shaun of the Dead. Can you imagine that? Like Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Edgar Wright, the ones who made Shaun of the Dead, that brilliantly original film that is unlike anything else and is one of the greatest zombie films ever made, if not the best. That film isn't even owned by the 3 people who it could not have conceivably been created without. Universal.
Did they literally write it and stuff?
Yeah, they wrote it. Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and Edgar Wright wrote it, I believe, and then Edgar Wright directed it, because that's the Cornetto trilogy. That whole
it's funny,
would have been all of the contracts.
It's funny. It all makes sense. Right? Yeah. Say, I'm writing a D&D,
and that's why. So that's why Simon Pegg basically said he started his own studio, because he doesn't own Shaun of the Dead. So
it's like, I'm writing a D&D campaign, right? This is an impossible scenario, but say, Josh, you were funding me.
Yeah.
To make my D&D campaign, because I really needed it. I want to make a really good one.
Wait, no, you should be paying me.
So you're funding me to make a D&D campaign, and I finish it. It's my life's work. I spent years on it. All you've done is give me the money. You have no creative process whatsoever. You're just like, yeah, whatever. I spent all my time doing it. It's my passion. I'm dedicated. I finish it. I'm like, this is my art. I've created it. Yeah, but you made it. It's mine though. I'm like,
yeah, it's fine. You get 5%.
And then it's like, yeah, well, it's like, it's like, yeah, but I've been, I know you've been giving me money, but like, I just made that. It's my baby. It's like, no, it's mine.
But I have to.
Can I have it? No.
Rhys, I have to make my money back 100-fold.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't understand.
have to.
You don't understand how hard this is for me.
You have to, and you have to, and I don't. It doesn't matter because you need to, not me.
Well, also, here's the funny thing about that is, obviously, using that example, is that you could go to pretty much anyone who has money and make basically the same game, but that's not the other way around. It's not a two-way street. It's actually really one way. It's literally like, I have this brilliant, fantastic idea that can make you a lot of money. All you got to do, you back me, you and I, we both make money from that. Instead, it's like, you give me money, you back me, you get complete creative control of the whole thing, you get to control when it comes out, when it's released, how much it costs, and every single creative decision after the actual game. You get to shave edges off it, you get to put in, tack on little things to this piece of art. I've created a canvas of art, and what you're doing is you're shaving off the edges, you're adding your own splashes of paints in places where it shouldn't be for my own passion of it, and you're putting it in a place that only certain people can see certain parts of it. Yeah. You're making people pay for different sized windows to see this piece of art. It's like, fuck you, okay?
Yeah,
video games is art. Video games is art. Music is, movies are, theatre is, all these sorts of creative process where, there's that idea where it's like a tiny political thing, which someone said in the podcast, which was people on the left create companies and have that creative drive. People on the right know how to run them. And what happens with that, in a sense, is that kind of linking into the whole gaming thing is you need people who are creative to be able to create the games, but you need publishers to be able to promote and market. But what's happening is the publishers are like, hey, we actually they can't do it without us, because if we all band together, we'll do the same thing and we can all be scumbags. They have to choose one of us. So it doesn't matter who they choose. Just choose me. I'm EA. I'm going to give you the most money, and then I won't do this. Don't you worry. You're pretty in your head about it. Don't you worry. Don't worry. Just give me Star Wars, Disney. We'll be fine. And then here you go. And then blarg.
Disney nearly took Star Wars off EA.
They did. They should have fucking done.
Nearly did.
They really, really should have done. When they said they were going to, I was like, please do. You can redeem yourself.
Well,
and then they didn't.
Disney pulled what's his name off of Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
James Gunn. Yeah, but that wasn't because of a good reason. That was because he had some, was it racist or homophobic jokes?
He made some form of rape joke 8 years ago,
yeah,
or more, that he apologised for then, and apologised for again since, recently.
Yeah.
And I said, no, we can't have you more.
Yeah, and also all the actors who've worked with him.
I know that to be squeaky clean, but
that's ridiculous. And also all the actors that work with him, like Chris Pratt, they literally wrote basically a thing saying, "Look, we're not saying we've necessarily even forgive him for the jokes. Like, we're not trying to make an excuse for the jokes." But he's saying it's wrong. We're all agreeing it's wrong. It was so long ago, and also he's made Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Every single person on team and on staff says he's an absolute delight to work with. He's such a nice guy. He brought a vision to the series. He had all these plans for the third one. There's like a sign letter with all their signatures on the bottom of this letter. They've all been posting on social media saying he's an awesome guy, lovely director, perfect to work with. He's created 2 of the most popular Marvel Disney films. They're 2 of the most widespread, most popular ones, considered the best. And what's the reason? Oh, he made a joke literally at the birthing of fucking Twitter. He made a joke around that time and apologised for it, and now they're getting all in his arms about it. It's like, no one can make a mistake ever again. Literally, you make one mistake in your entire life ever. You fuck up once, you could literally destroy your entire life. It's like, why? It's not like raping someone. It's words, mate.
That's the dangerous precedent that this sort of thing sets, is that if you write something like that online, even as a joke, that's then published out there, immortalized, and it sets the thing. It's like, okay, well, people can't change, they can't apologize. What do you expect people to do? Like, wake up as like, I made this joke 8 years ago. Oh well, I best get up for the however many days are in 8 years and something time, and say sorry this morning, and then try and continue my day, and then say sorry again the next morning, and be apologising for it literally the rest of their lives.
Like the film, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 gets made, he gets made by it, but like literally every 100th frame, it just flashes up like a 1 frame subliminal message. Sorry. I'm sorry, like a signature of James Gunn.
But like, it's literally, it's ridiculous. I in a way, I understand why they decided to let him go, because they feel like they don't want to be associated with that. But at the same time, it's like, before it became, it's not even like, it's, people will go out of their way to find these things and bring them up, bring them into the public light, and then that destroys someone's career. It's not like that thing's readily available to be seen. No. Someone's brought it up on Reddit or something and reposted it.
And it's not an action. If it was an action, if it was something genuinely heinous and awful,
like the Harvey Weinstein,
yeah, that's ridiculous. And I'm not going to delve into that, because that's a whole other conversation we could all have at some point about forgiveness of when people do things wrong. But we'll glaze over that for now. With the video game thing, one thing I want to hear your guys' opinions of is a very good segue is the political correctness in games. And the degree of At what point should publishers listen to the audience, or public, or gamers, or whatever you want to call yourselves, and myself, I guess, Filthy Casual? Where's the line at where they go, okay, some people are offended, we shouldn't release this? Like that game, the black and white game, which is Hatred, where it just goes around literally slaughtering people. Like,
Steam took that off the store for a little bit.
There's a recent one that was like that.
Agony, yeah,
there was literally a rape scene in that game.
They got forced.
Like graphic rape scene.
that's unpleasant, but I feel like...
a child, I think?
No, I'm not going to mix it up. There is rape in it, I'm pretty sure. I know there's a scene where a baby gets like basically smashed against a rock.
I don't agree with those things, like being like... I'm not saying they shouldn't be in a game. I don't really want to see that shit. But like in Saw, for example, I watched the Saw movies. But the reason that it's so hard-hitting and impactful is because it's so fucked up. Yeah. Like, you know that Mother film we watched? That wasn't very good. But there's a scene in there where a baby gets killed. Like, and it's like you watch it literally happening. It's really fucked up. And I'm sorry if that spoils it for anyone, but that film is actually quite crap. So
I think the distinction line is drawn where you're doing things because they have some sort of like narrative or creative impact or some sort of social commentary on things.
Yeah, and
you're doing something just to be edgy and controversial and do it for the sake of doing it.
If it adds something, then it should be in there. No disputes. Yeah. Oh, it's a baby getting smashed in the head. Okay, so don't play it then.
Well, yeah, it's
some people, believe it or not, are actually like, you know, mentally sufficient enough to see something disturbing and then compartmentalise that as that was disturbing. Full stop. Not that was disturbing. It's going to haunt me for all the rest of my life, and I might even start killing babies. What you know what I mean? Like.
Well, there has to be a warning. They're literally, if it's,
there has to be a warning.
Yeah, literally. All it said, most games have that now, or at least the games I've been playing. They literally warn if there's flashing colours, if there's language, if there's things. And that's where it comes from with children buying games at 18s.
The recent thing that I talked about, I think, maybe with you guys, also I might have been with Kieran or something recently, the whole uproar that happened about the boy that committed suicide after playing Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
And the parents were basically trying to...
Sue.
To basically... say that the game killed their boy.
It upsets me that they've gone through that, but they have to understand it's not the game.
Like, the game has plenty of warnings to say this isn't actually what it looks like. It may look all this, like, happy, jokey, like, dating sim thing. It's not. It's not for children. It's like, are you expressing up, and it has disturbing images and disturbing things.
What happens in that? I think you've told me about that game.
It's fucking wacky. I never played it. Kieran actually played it the other day.
Oh, really?
It's really short. You can play it in one sitting, I think.
Yeah, it's not long.
Like a dating sim game.
It's a free game,
like fucking...
Really, it's free.
Fucking hentai looking shit. You know? It's actually hentai, you know what I mean?
Yeah, anime, yeah.
Yeah, it's all anime, and you just talk to cute girls, and you're like, it's a dating sim. It's like that, but then it becomes really fucking surreal and creepy and fucked up, and...
Like, the game, like, dark, one of the characters is basically in the game being self-aware and everything, and all that sort of thing. Yeah. It gets really, like, really meta, really fucked up, quite disturbing and weird, and it's like, you know that, like, okay, this is definitely not suitable for people that have, like, you know, a bit of a...
God, I think even if I was playing a game and then within the game, if there's something becoming self-aware and it became like... When we're going to get to the point where games become so brilliant and clever that you could actually, in a sense, be talking to it, and it could somehow convince you that it's actually alive and real, and you're playing a game that's killing it, that would fuck with me a little bit. And you know what I mean? Like,
thing is, the game isn't actually being self-aware.
No, I know it's not.
It's just written to be like
that's
that.
What I mean.
Like, it is a script. It's not like the game adapts to you.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'd be alright with that because I can understand. But if it gets, eventually it's going to get to a point where you're going to be able to interact with the game, and it's going to be that really weird fine line where it's like, this written like that, and the developers are going to be like, well, no, we wrote it to interact with you and act self-aware, but it's like, but when does a machine actually become self-aware? Which is another whole conversation. But
there's a thing in that you basically in that game, I think you type in like the name you want to use for that game at the beginning. Like most games, you're like, oh, what's your name? There, and then it goes through, and then eventually gets to a point where it says, oh, or should I call you? And basically rips the data to take the name that you've called for that profile on the computer and uses that instead.
Right, it's like on Steam, whatever your Steam name is, where you have to have your actual real name.
Not even Steam. It will go to like your Windows computer name settings and take that and use that.
Oh, I see.
To sound like really like jarring with it,
yeah, that because that sort of stuff. Also, like you know, you're actually, you know, Mike Burton. You actually this address. You actually have these people as your friend, and you saw this person the other day. Like, I know it wouldn't get that far, but imagine that happening. You'd be like, okay, is this still the game? And it's like, that would freak me the fuck out.
Yeah,
that would freak me the fuck out. That would, oh god.
I'll show you footage of someone like filming you like just walking around the city.
I don't know what I do. I literally, if I thought that, I'd be like, I want to turn it off,
The
but
fuck is the Twilight Zone or something?
I'd be like, I want to turn this off, but is it killing the thing? And I'd be like scared. I'd be like, I don't know what to do. And it'd be like lines of code like coming up with the computer, like, are you there, Michael? I know what you're thinking. If you kill me, you don't know what I can do. It's like, what am I gonna do? I'm like having a panic attack. I'd be like freaking the fuck out.
I'd rather games just stay the way they are.
Just like Rhys Josh. I'd rather games stay the way they are. Was that when the Wii came out? It's like, please don't make every game fucking motion control, please. We don't need that. I like
There are games that did it well, and then there's Skyward Sword.
Waggle sword. Waggle sword.
And then there's the Kinect.
I like the idea of what they tried to do with Skyward Sword,
Good in theory, not in
but
practice.
it just did not work in practice.
That is the only time I regret my
was too
my
clunky.
podcast isn't a video podcast, because it's literally like, I'm going to hold my thing up. It's like running with Link, like his arm having like a full spasm, like it has got bones in
I
it.
need to do Skyward Strike. Like, hold it up straight. This guy's like, I'm holding it up straight. He's still like,
It's like slightly angled. It's like, I'm holding the Wiimote dead straight.
Yes, I've got it in the place. And then it moves out of place before it charges. It's like, no!
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's so stupid.
But yeah, with that, like watching Link like
Reach for it.
I'm gonna shut it up. He's waiting for it to work. Straight face, arm up in the air. Oh dear.
I was going to ask, we're getting near the 2 hour mark, so I'm starting to wrap up shortly.
No.
Okay, it took forever. I was going to ask, with the state...
No, I won't do that crash level for you. We have to cross the bridge.
Okay, well that's good, because I think if you did that for me, I'd be very upset, because it was like, if you actually did that for me, I would have taken away my manlyhood, even though I've done it, but still. I was thinking with...
Sure he is.
Shut up. Don't ever talk to me like that ever again, okay? This is my podcast. I can edit it out and make it sound like you're being a dick, okay?
It's true.
Say
Well, I mean, they wouldn't be able to achieve much, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, but it's all about you, Josh. It's just like, it's not all about you. You're doing it again.
You are doing it again.
We're coming to the end of the
I don't know
podcast
how
and
you
doing
can't
it
say
again.
that. You're just doing it again.
It's disgusting.
No, I don't have to have the last word, though.
Oh, you said did you hear that?
Did it again.
No, I didn't.
You keep saying that word. I. You just keep talking.
Yeah,
about
not
stuff.
we. It's a group community thing, this podcast, Josh. But you can't do it without me.
We are a group, you know. I don't care if you're referring to yourself specifically. We
Three's
are
a crowd,
Hello.
bro. Yeah, we want to do this.
Yeah,
Not all
but
about
I'm
I.
part of the group.
Oh, he's doing it
here he goes
again. There's not I in team, but there's me backwards. I was just going to say one thing, which you may not... This may be a much too big a question, for example, but I speak about with Josh in anime. With women's representation in games, right? What is your opinion like... Let's use Ivy from Soul Calibur 4 as a good
I
example.
think this is a very... on surface level these days and age, this is a very, very deep question, but it's really, really easy.
Okay.
Why are women portrayed the way they are in video games right now? Because...
The majority of the player base is straight white men.
Yes, that is your answer. This doesn't have to be anything nefarious about it. It doesn't... End of the day, right? End of the day, you could say, why don't they have more this type of woman, or this kind of weapon, or this race of women, or this culture? It's like, because straight white Western men don't give a fuck about that. They care about badass women, like Lara Croft, who are hot. And I tell you, it seems shallow, but it's like, if you're going to be playing a character and you look at them on screen all day, it doesn't add anything if they're hot or not, other than, are they more pleasant to look at? If they're hot, yes, they are more pleasant to look at, so make them hot. It's not some weird statement like, oh, women must meet this standard. It's like, no, you're staring at a character all day, might as well make them attractive. It's very simple. They do it with the main characters as well. How many men, like fucking Nathan Drake from Uncharted? Absolute stud. Because you look at him all day, you look at him all the time.
Crash Bandicoot, stud.
Absolute stud.
Those jeans, his ass and that jeans. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have much opinion on it. I was just curious of because I wrote it down as a
I
footnote.
do love how over the top it can get. Like you know, fighting games in particular have a fun, great time.
Boob-Physics, like literally.
There was that fighting game, Virtua Fighter, dodgeball, not dodgeball.
Bikini volleyball something.
Volleyball, some sort of variant.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like, okay, here is a guy. Here's a guy in armor. Here's a woman. Here's a woman in armor that is apparently armored but is somehow wearing less clothes.
Yeah.
That is
okay. I find that a bit like...
It depends.
But, yeah.
If it's like an elf in like a fantasy universe, I say, yeah, that just fits with elves.
It depends on the genre.
Leaves and shit. But if it's literally just like fucking full on
Skyrim,
full on anime style, like just absolutely no clothes on their armor, like just for no reason, it's like that is kind of stupid. Like it is more pleasant to look at if you're a straight male, but it actually takes away from the world, which is why most people don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what it needs to be. There needs to be the balance in there, because if you do have a character like Bayonetta is a good example, where most of the time she's not wearing really revealing clothing, but she is that sort of, she's got that kind of that dominatrix sort of I'm the dominant crazy woman sort of thing.
It's a part of a character that actually adds something.
Yeah, exactly. And her clothes come off when she's basically over dominating something. That's the whole. That's the whole shtick. Is like all her clothes completely come off, and you think, okay, well, yeah, but her hair clothes. It all comes off, and obviously you're thinking, okay, this is objectifying women, but she is more powerful than anything in the whole game when she does this specific thing. So it's like it's the double entendre. Is that the right term for it? Where
I don't think that's quite the right term.
Okay, it's like the two. It balances. It's the opposites. It's like, okay, yeah, she's almost naked, which objectifies her to a degree. But if she's naked and empowered and beating the absolute fuck out of everything, and it literally works in game, as you say, in law to do so, then that makes sense. And she's that's her personality. That's her type. You know.
And people have commented saying about, like, objectifying women about Bayonetta. Ignoring the fact that the person that made Bayonetta, the lead developers, were women. They chose to do that, to have, like, an empowered woman protagonist thing. And it's like, she's doing that with all this whole, like, yes, it's over-sexualized. I would question whether I would say objectifying.
Yeah.
Because it is a woman in a position of power. She's doing that because she wants to, because she wants to act that way, and that's how she does it.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, I would say it's over-sexualized.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's objectifying.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
I would say it's over-sexualized in like a general term. Like, it's very sexual for the medium it's in.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say it's overdone.
Yeah, there's not actual sex in it. It's actually just...
They made her very sexual, and I think they wanted her to be that sexual.
But she's actually not...
That goal.
In a lot of ways, she's not. It's all about reading between the lines. I think if I was 10 and I played Bayonetta, obviously I'd notice she gets naked, which is, physicalities. But then all of her innuendos, a lot of it, like calling people big boy and saying things like that, when you don't know the connotation of big boy, obviously referring to male genitalia, and things like that, it's like, well, okay, if you don't know that, like the amount of movies I watched, I'm sure you guys did as well when you were younger, certain Shrek's a good one, when he walks up to Lord Farquaad's castle, and he's called Lord Fuckwad. Yeah. And it's like he walks out the castle. Oh, maybe compensating for something. And when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, because he's really short. It's like, no, because he's got a small dick. Like, but you don't pick that up. And if it's nuanced, and if it's subtle, it's good. And Bayonetta never says, "Oh, my clothes are coming off. Now I'm going to fuck you into submission." It's not like that, and it's not.
No,
quite
but I don't know. I think they're pretty ham-fisted with it. They always like all the camera shots and stuff. They like show like how tough her butt crack and all this clothes come off. It's but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's this whole PC thing. It's coming off tougher slightly, but it's this whole PC thing where it's like
political correctness. You mean
this has a dark side to it. Objectifying women has a dark side because that is the dark side. Objectifying them is the dark side. But it's like, so if a woman expresses her sexuality in like a medium where someone's created it, it's always seen as like over the top and like objectifying. It's like, actually don't take it for face value and actually look at it properly. Like, she is, like you said, an incredibly empowered woman. She was created and designed by women to be an empowered woman. She uses her sexuality to be powerful. And it's like, oh, if you look at this woman, like, oh, is a naked woman on the screen. It's like, yes, who is fucking like summoning like a 25-foot fucking heel and smashing like fucking 1,000 demons. It's like, it's fucking sick. If she was just doing that for no reason, then okay, then I can maybe have a basis of a point.
Yeah.
It's a part of the character that makes her unique and what makes her great.
And I think what the line is, I think with my opinion with this, I agree with you guys. And I think with with women's sexuality specifically, I find it's all about basically in what circumstance someone's doing it, If you have a film and in every film there's a woman who's really sexual, you can have it if I really, really oversimplify it, you could have it in two ways. You could have a woman who is strong. She's like, have you guys seen Sex and the City? Like, I've only seen the movie. I've only seen the movie.
I know some of the characters.
Okay, well, there's one woman in it who's quite feisty, quite forceful in a sense, and she's very much a dominant one. She grabs the guys in a sense. She's in air quotes, the one who seems like a man slut sort of thing. That general idea. And I equate, yeah, but I mean man slut in the sense of man slut doesn't. If I call her a slut, it's negative, but a man slut seems not the same way. Yeah, there's a slightly different connotation. She's like the male of the group in air quotes, especially when that series was started 10 years ago. There's a lot more of the sort of divide, especially in
like more forward, aggressive, not aggressive, but like
the stereotypical way men are often portrayed in those sorts of shows, and that's what Sex and the City is all about. Kind of flipping it, even though I don't like the show. But with that sort of idea, it's like, but if a woman is being really, she's really scared, really weak all the time, and then men just take advantage of her constantly. There's two very, very different ways that women's sex is on screen, and it's the same with everything. You could have 100 shows where men are constantly, beaten and weak, and the women are the strong, powerful ones all the time. And then you can also have it the opposite way around. And it's all about, the problem is because it's been so long of so many males doing it to so many women over cinema, you know, a lot of the old James Bond things of just objectifying women, they're just there purely to be damsels in distress, that sort of stuff. The problem is now what's happened is that's all happened, and what we really need to do is be like, okay, we'll have a nice balance in the right way of having a certain amount of women who are strong because a story that is written for that purpose makes it worth it, and having certain film games where it's optional to be male or female, like Witcher and things like that, where it doesn't... Is Witcher one where you can be male or female?
No.
Okay, not Witcher, Skyrim then, where it's not directly impactful on the story if you're male or female. Let them choose. But there's certain stories like Tomb Raider, which is the story's written for a woman, so there's certain times where one can be each, but it's got to be not like, oh, we can't have anything objectifying women of anything sexual at all, of any case, just in case someone gets triggered or upset by it. And it's the same with everything. And that's where the political correctness realm comes into it, and that's where...
And in which case I would say, okay, if you're going to do that for the women's side, say the same for the men's side as well, and don't have like all these ridiculous, like proper, like jockey stopped up.
But I will say, a lot of the time in games I find, when there's someone disgusting, I do find often it's men. Not in like when you get a disgusting, grotesque, big, like weird fat thing, or like a really scummy shopkeep. It's often men, and you got to go. Well, we make that women as well. You got to make it balanced, and maybe that's just it. Obviously, there are more male characters, I think, a lot of the time in these games. But is it because, and I don't know the answer to this, can't play enough games recently. Is it because that should be a male because the story needs it to, or is it because there's just males making the game? The standard straight white male is the default, and that's what's being widespread. You know.
I think there are a lot more women/girls playing games these days than there were,
100%.
and I think that will begin to change the demographic and things that represent.
It's becoming more accepted. You're not getting people have to be girly girls in air quotes, you know.
In another branch where we're talking about like the whole like sexualization in video games and that sorts of things.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I've seen recently going around Twitter that I think, looking at it, I agree with, is that as a media to be digested by people, by the general population, games can play a part in like cultural and social change of social standards and norms. In a way, for example, I think that what people have said is that you could very easily have more representation. And normally, I'm not one for like just representation for representation's sake, but there is a distinct, like significant, like crazy, even more than like the women-men thing, disproportion that you don't see them in games pretty much ever, apart from a few case examples of like things like same-sex relationships and all that sort of thing. Like you just don't see it.
That happens in Disney films, that you don't get that as well.
The thing that comes to mind that's the most obvious example of it actually happening would be all the choices and things you can make in terms of relationships with people in Mass Effect.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was one of the first big games you could do.
But other than that, I don't really think... Oh, you can also do it in Fable quite a lot as well.
Fable, you can do it.
But other than that, I can't... Nothing comes to mind about things that are... Especially none that use it as like an actual major story and plot device.
Yeah, I think the problem is... I think this can be the finishing thing. I'll get your guys' thoughts on this because we're getting to the 2-hour mark. Just, I think it is... It's... Yeah, I haven't had any hand in any game developing, but let's just say we, as a populace who consume games, there hasn't been, because the standard was straight white male playing video games, because there was a lot of societal stigma to people who are, if you're older playing games, you're a quote loser, because if you're over like 20 or 30 and you're playing video games, there's that stigma of being a loser. If you're a girl, you shouldn't be able to play games, and all this is horseshit. It comes down to everyone should basically be able to do whatever the fuck they want as long as it doesn't hurt other people. And that comes to every conversation I have in this podcast and everything like that. And with games, where you allow more people to do it, you allow more women to like say, okay, let's not judge women for doing something they want to do. It'll mean that more of them can get interested in it. It makes it more accessible. More get interested in it. Therefore, they get more people who are developing these sorts of things who are in it. Also, the general, like, people like us, who I'm obviously not a woman, but I appreciate, there's a lot of women who would like more representation in games. There's a lot of women who would like to be involved in these games. If they want to get involved, let these things come out. If I'm a developer, I'm going to be more open to thinking of things like this. And then it's like a positive feedback loop. You know?
At the same time, I think it does come into an idea, I don't know how you think about this, you might agree, you might not, that it comes down, I think developers would be very open to all these things, and that it comes back to publishers being the problem.
Yeah, almost all the time, potentially all the time, actually.
Okay. Well, that's a perfect loop, I think. I think that that literally, because it's 2 hours now, it's getting kind of late-ish, so I think that's a pretty much perfect loop to end it on. Is there Anything else you guys want to add? Or
There was something, but it's perfect loop.
you sure?
Yeah,
A minute ago,
basically, long story short,
no, not that.
publishers are the problem.
What were you going
I was
to
going
add?
to say a minute ago, you said something you always say is that you should be able to do the fucking one as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. And I think that is really true anymore. It was, up until recently, where everyone decided that everything hurts. It's like everyone decided that everything hurts, so that you can't say or do anything, or have any kind of art with any kind of expression of even slightly controversial ideas without it hurting someone. And then, once it hurts one person, you're not allowed it anymore. A la Disney with whatever you're talking about
James
earlier.
Gunn with the Guardians of the Galaxy director. Yeah.
It's like, fucking, some people are just pathetic babies, and we need to actually recognise who are pathetic babies and then listen to the ones that aren't.
I agree. I completely agree. And I'll add one last thing to this, which is my only thing with that is, yeah, I agree. We need to have the balance. But what's happening, I think, is where we're getting the push for more politically correct things that are needed. Say, I'd say probably about, let's say 50%, just argument's sake. 50% of all political correctness stuff is genuine, legit, needed. We need more representation of X, Y, Z people in this, that, and the other. But then there's another percentage of it, which is maybe 50 is a bit too small, whatever. There's a certain other percentage of it, which is the pushback of it going that far. It's the whole, this industry is saying being pushed to the left, for example, and there's some that's overlapping, going way too far. And I'm hoping, I don't know this, maybe we're all going to go that far and it's going to become fucking ridiculous. Or what I'm hoping is it's going to do that, but there is that equal pushback, which I think is happening in politics with the election of Trump and things like that. And what's happening is we're hopefully just, both sides are slowly going to kind of meet in the middle a little bit. And that's what I hope we can do.
Resistance on each side.
That's what I hope we can do. But I think we're in a transitionary period at the moment, and I think it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of conversations, and a lot of work to get there.
The problem is pushing to the middle would insinuate it's the extremes that are doing the pushing.
True.
In which case you have half the population having complete opposite extreme views.
True.
Which isn't actually that far off what we got now. It's on its way. It's on its way.
It is on its way, but I won't get into anything further political because we're open up a whole can of worms.
We're at the end of this now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but thank you guys for both coming on. I appreciate it. It was a very fun gaming chat, and we'll have to do another one at some point, like maybe in
We have
the
to do
future.
one where we celebrate games more as opposed to talking about infuriating.
We started off
industry.
celebratory, and then it then you just mentioned the industry, and then it went downhill from there.
Not to be a snob, because obviously I have shitloads of games, and most of them are modern, like new games.
Yeah.
But it is funny how as soon as we start talking about games that are just like making us smile and be happy and celebrate, and then we're talking about all the games.
That is quite funny. Jack 3, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, But we'll definitely do another podcast about the things we love about games, the things that are brilliant. So
Exclusively the things we love about games.
yeah, we'll do a positive. We'll do a positive one. Okay. Well, thanks as always, guys, for coming on.
Sweet. All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
And that's the end of part 2. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys. As I said, if you enjoyed this one, but you hadn't listened to the first one, maybe, check that one out, as it's a similar, obviously, vein of conversation. Next week is my chat with Dom. Now, I've had Dom on the podcast before, and I want to have him on again, so I did. Obviously, I think it was last week's episode, the week before last episode, so the one with Steve, the homosexual man who's a friend of mine, when we spoke about him sort of coming out and him growing up gay in the 80s and that sort of thing. On the end of one of those episodes, I actually said I'd be releasing Dom's episode, but the last 2 weeks, I've actually lied to each and every one of you that heard that episode, so I'm deeply, deeply sorry about that. Anyway, I'm releasing that one next week. I just want to release this gaming one because I haven't done about gaming on the channel as of yet. On the podcast, I don't know, whatever. I haven't really done one fully about gaming, so I thought I want to get that out there, and we speak about a few things that are quite relevant, so I thought, it's probably a good shout to sort of release that one. So I'm saying I'll release one with Dom next week. I don't have any other podcast recordings lined up in the next week, so I don't think anything's going to pop up to make me change my mind this time, so yeah, next week should be the one with Dom. I've got one recorded with Belinda, which is Wayne's sister. Wayne's been on the podcast a couple of times. He's the paleontologist. We talk about quite a few things, including Marwell Zoo and falconry. I've got Alex Hart is once again back. He's the one I've done 2 movie podcasts with, and this time we didn't do a movie podcast. We did about some of his other passions, which is basically nature and what he does as a living, and we just talk about nature for quite a while. I think it's about an hour or so, which that's a fantastic chat too. And I've got a couple of other recorded, so I've got a few in the pipeline ongoing. I've got some that I'm going to be recording soon. I just did a collaboration with a gentleman called Frank. I went up to London and we recorded in a park, so I'm going to be releasing that one. I don't know when fully, but it's going to be interesting to see what the audio sounds like, as it's 9 times out of 10 in my lounge. So yeah, we've got all that sort of stuff to look forward to. I think that's relatively everything, really. I just want to remind everyone, like, follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Leave a review on iTunes and stuff if you feel like it deserves it. We're on Spotify, so if any of your friends have got Spotify, you can send it their way, and there's no excuse. There is no conceivable reason everyone on the whole planet should not be listening to this podcast. If you can't tell, I'm being over the top for dramatic reasons, because obviously I'm just thankful anyone listens to this at all, especially anyone listening to my ramblings right at the very end, where it seemed to be a lot less with it and together. I just kind of, there's no end game. Everyone's already listened to the good part of the podcast. It's just me left here with a mic like, well, you listen to the interesting person talk and me vaguely host, and now it's just me at the end trying to randomly say stuff. I don't know where I'm going or what's happening or who I am, so thanks as always for listening, guys. I really appreciate anyone listening this far, and I will talk to you next week.